Your question is, one of the most important divine quality is Abhayam, means fearlessness. So this is the divine quality. And the question is, Vibhishana was a devotee of Rama. How can Vibhishana be afraid of Ravana? What happened to divine quality of Vibhishana? Is the question. The answer is, Vibhishana was not afraid of Ravana. In TV serial movies, they may have shown us Vibhishana is afraid of Ravana. In reality, Vibhishana is not afraid of Ravana. He opposes Ravana. Opposing Ravana is certain death. If you oppose Ravana, death is guaranteed. Vibhishana opposes Ravana in the court hall, in front of all other people, knowing very well that Ravana will kill him. So that means Vibhishana was not afraid of death. So Abhayam means fearlessness. Fearlessness of what? What is the fear we have? The main fear we have is death. We have a fear of two things. At the physical level, death. At the psychological level, it is identity. Whatever identity you have. Okay? The identity is always associated with the I am so and so, or my name is so and so, my reputation is so and so. People will commit, people are so afraid that their name will go, their fame will go. What happened to my name? So that fear is there. What will happen to me? I will die. That fear is there. The fear of death is two types. One, the physical death and psychological death. So Vibhishana is not afraid of both. He has left, fear is not there in him. Why? Why is that so? Because he has surrendered to God, Rama. That's why Abhayam is the nature of Vibhishana. Now we have to understand the word called surrender. Okay? We have heard the surrender. When somebody shows a gun to your head, you lift your hand, yes, I surrender. That means whatever you want to do, you please do. That means you have accepted death. Right? When you accept death, fear will go. But if you are afraid of death, fear will be there. So, the real surrender means dropping the fear. How do you drop the fear? You can drop the fear only you accept death. If death happens, let it happen. If my identity is lost, let it happen. If my name is gone, let it happen. So you're not worried about loss of name and fame and identity and body. Then you're not afraid of death. Now why somebody is not afraid of death of the body? I'll tell you a story of Mata Amritanami. She was a young kid. She was singing the glories of God, dancing, and one rowdy, a Gunda, came and threatened her. Stop singing, you are a mad girl. He brought a big knife and said, I'll kill you. Okay? So then Amritanami laughs and says, if you want to kill me, kill me. If that is the God's wish, kill me. That man rushes, and when he goes close to Amritanami, suddenly he starts vomiting blood. And he is admitted to hospital. And Amritanami goes and serves him, and he dies in 2 days. Amritanami didn't do anything. She accepted death. So people asked her, what happened? She says, birth and death is not in the hands of human beings. It's the God who decides death. If at that moment I am supposed to die, if God has decided to die, nobody can save me. If God has not decided me to die, I don't have to do anything. So I just accepted God's will. So everything in the world, when we understand is at God's will, if death has to happen, it will happen. accept it. That acceptance makes us free from fear. So surrender always comes from acceptance that everything is happening because of God's will. If because of God's will, Vibhishana has to die, Vibhishana says, okay, that's God's will. It's not Ravana's hand. It's not Ravana who is killing me. The God has decided that I have to die. Let me accept it. So the fearlessness comes from the acceptance of the power of God, acceptance that all actions are happening by God, because of God, for God. So that understanding is called surrender. And with that understanding, all our emotional disturbances will go. Right now our problem is, we think that this person is doing something to me, that person is doing to me, Ravana is going to kill Vibhishana. We are thinking in terms of persons. It is the universal consciousness, Ishvara, who determines. Why he will determine the death of somebody is based on his prarabdha karma, not because it's not in the hands of Ravana. So that understanding freed Mata Amritanandamayi from fear of death. That understanding freed Vibhishana from the fear of death. So fear of death or loss of identity is a terrible fear. That's what fear in our life is. How fear goes? To surrender. Surrender to the will of God. If I have to die, nobody can stop me. Nobody can stop. If God has decided I will die because of my prarabdha karma, nobody can stop. If God has decided not to die, then nobody can kill me. So that removes the fear. That's why first divine quality is called Abhayam. So one who is surrendered will accept anything coming in life as God's will. Success comes as God's will. Failure comes as God's will. Threat of death comes from God's will. Survival depends on God's will. He doesn't choose. Surrender means not choosing and accepting what happens at that moment. And then there's a deep healing happens. Your fear will go. At that moment, when you are able to accept life as it is. But we are not able to accept life. We choose. I don't want to die. I don't want to die is fair enough. But if the prarabdha karma and Ishvara has decided you will die, how will you stop? And what is the point of being afraid of that? So the fear will be dropped the moment you surrender. You will surrender the moment you understand everything happening in the universe is God's will, Ishvara's will. Are you clear? Any questions?